Think about the mains exam. You may know the answer, but can you think, structure, and write it in just 7 minutes? That is where many aspirants struggle. Often, the problem is not the lack of knowledge, but taking too long to decide what to write and how to structure it. Today, let's build a simple, repeatable approach that helps you move from question to conclusion without compromising quality. Hello everyone, my name is Rajni Jha. Welcome to Drishti IAS. In this session, I'll tell you how to write an effective answer within the time limit without compromising the quality. Let's get started. So there are some pointers that you must keep in mind while writing mains answer. The first is decode the question. Decode the question. And here you also have to identify the keywords. This is a part of decoding the questions. So here I will identify the keywords and the directives. Directive words, because directive words give the direction as to where you need to go in your answers, what you actually need to write. And I have already covered all these in my previous session on answer writing. If you haven't watched that, please go ahead and watch it. There we discussed a lot of different directive words and what you are supposed to write when those directive words are given in the question. So identify the keywords, identify the directive words, whether it is discuss, analyze, examine, critically evaluate, or whatever. This is the part of decoding the question. This you should ideally take around 30 to 45 seconds to do this. The next part is the brainstorming part. Brainstorming session. Here you will do the brainstorming. So what you need to do here is, let's suppose in the question it says discuss. So in case of discuss, we usually look for different dimensions. In the brainstorming, which takes about 1 minute, I will think about the different dimensions I can include in the question if discuss, this directive has been given. Or whatever directive has been given to you, according to that, what I should be writing in my introduction, what points I can include in my in the body of the answer, and how the conclusion should look like. That is the brainstorming part, and you have to take around 1 minute to do that. A lot of students skip this part thinking that if they start writing right away, they will save time. Instead, what really happens is they drift from the question, they answer something else. So A, their answer is wrong. B, because they drift from the main stem of the question, it takes a lot of time for them to come back to the main question. So it wastes time actually. So take 1 minute for the brainstorming session. After you're done with brainstorming, then start with the intro. Because now you know what you're supposed to write in the intro, in the body, in the conclusion. The intro should, you can write simple anecdote, you can write constitutional provision, you can write context, you can write definition, you can write data, contemporary example, you can start with anything that is relevant to your question. Let's say you are not able to identify what you should be writing in the introduction. The simplest introduction is, you have already identified the keywords. Look at the main keyword of the question, whatever it is talking about, that main idea. Start defining it. You can write the definitions in your entire preparation. You have learned the definition of every word given in the syllabus. So the best you can do, if nothing comes to your mind, there is no data that is in your mind, there is no code that is in your mind, in essays also, you can use the keyword and start defining it. So in the introduction, define the keyword and then connect it to the idea of what has been asked in the question. I'll give you an example also, don't worry. Then we know that we have already thought about it, what we are going to write in the body. So use dimensions in the body. You can, if you have given any abstract idea in your answer, substantiate it using examples, data, references. You can also use diagrams wherever it is necessary, right? Next, your conclusion. Your conclusion should ideally be sort of a way forward. It should look positive, or at least it should have a balanced approach. It should not look like a biased opinion, a one-sided opinion. It should be balanced. Now, I will apply these in a question, but before that, right now we have our freedom sale going on where you'll get up to 50% off if you take admission into the course until 16th of August. It is there on all live online courses. And if you take our ISGS Foundation course, in that you will get flat 50% off until 16th of August. Along with it, if you simply pay just 2 rupees extra, you will get ISGS Prelims PYQ and Mains PYQ answer writing course absolutely free. And like I told you, this is flat 50% off right now until 16th of August. Then on mains also, the mains courses also we have up to 50% off until 16th of August. If you wish to join us, call on this number 87501 87501. Now let's apply what we have just saw, what we have just seen in the previous slide in this question, right? Let's apply what we saw. So the question says, what are the major challenges faced by Indian agriculture? Suggest measures to address them. Okay. First of all, the first step was decode the question. In decoding, I asked you to do two things, right? First, identify the keywords and the directive words and the directive word, right? This was a part of decoding the question. So what are the keywords, main keywords here? I have to talk about something related to Indian agriculture. What do I have to talk about? The major challenges faced by Indian agriculture. And then I can't just stop at challenges, I also have to give the solutions to it. So because it says suggest measures to address them. So solutions of those challenges also. So if I can simply figure out the challenges, I can give solutions, because that becomes very easy. If I can think of a problem, then I can give solution related to that problem and it becomes easy, right? So the first thing, decoding the question, I have identified the keywords. The directive words here are suggest and what, right? And what you really need to do here is the brainstorming session. This should take you around 30 seconds max. And you just saw that I read the question and I underlined what were the important keywords. It did not take me more than 15-20 seconds, not even that much, because I'm in practice. Once you start practicing, it will take you only this much time. If the question is longer, then it might take around 30 seconds. That is why I gave you the time 30 to 45 seconds you can take in the first part, which is decoding the question, what you're supposed to do. Second part is brainstorming. Again, you can take around 1 minute for brainstorming. What are you supposed to do in this? First, introduction. What can I write in the introduction? Second, the main part, the main body of this answer must be thought of in the brainstorming. What dimensions am I going to cover? I need to think about that in the brainstorming part. So for example, here, what dimensions I can cover? I can cover social, economic, political, environment, different dimensions here, right? Then, especially if I talk about this question, if we are talking about challenges, what kind of challenges are faced by Indian agriculture? There are economic challenges, there are environmental challenges, there are structural challenges, right? So you can think about those challenges here. Then in the next part of the body would be what measures should be used to address them. So in the body, first will be challenges, second is measures to address them or solutions to those challenges, and then I'll write conclusion. Now I'm done with this part, and here itself you have to think about what challenges you're going to write. Right, now that I'm done with this part, now I'll start writing. So in the introduction, as I told you, these are the 3 steps. Now in the introduction, what can you write? Here, agriculture remains central to India's rural economy. Did I define anything? No, because I did not find anything to define here. So I simply use the language that the question itself talks about. Now, because the question talks about challenges and the solutions to solve them, the solutions, you've been asked to write the solutions. If I'm asked to write challenges faced in a particular sector, that means that sector would be very important for me. That is why I'm asked to think about it also, right? So I started with it, that agriculture is still it is still central to India's rural economy and food security. But Indian farmers face a lot of challenges, including structural, economic, environmental challenges that constrain. What will those challenges do? They will constrain the productivity and income. So did I write anything new here? No. All I did was I rephrased the question and I wrote it here. That is another way to write an introduction. The introduction simply should show that you are writing something in such a way that it reflects your question and then it connects the introduction to the body, where your main material of the question is written, where the main content of the answer is written. It should connect it to that. Now, from this introduction, I know that Here, A, I'm talking about Indian agriculture. B, I'm talking about there are some challenges that are faced by them, and those challenges are causing these problems. So probably in the next part, there will be challenges. I can easily identify this, right? So your introduction should be such that it introduces or connects the question to the body or the main content of the answer writing or the answer. So now here the first part of the body is challenges. So what are the challenges faced by Indian agriculture? You can use different dimensions as I have already told you. Structural dimension, economic dimension, environmental dimension, then infrastructural dimension. I've written some examples here also what you can write in the structural. In the structural, the problem is small fragmented land holdings is a problem. Why is that a problem? You will study in the Indian agriculture part, right? Then economic issues are there. Then environmental issues are there. Infrastructural issues are there. So I divided the challenges part into different dimensions. When you add dimensions to your question, you don't have to write too much about one dimension, but when you add different dimensions, it looks like you have really studied thoroughly, right? Now that I've given challenges, what is the next part? What should I write? Next part. After that, I will write the suggestions, what I can do to solve them. So this is sort of a way forward, or this is solution. I've given the challenges, major challenges. Now this is the solution. So for example, this is what I was talking about. In the challenge, I wrote that there is groundwater depletion, for example, or soil degradation or climate risk. So in the solution, what I can write climate resilient agriculture. So writing solution of a problem is very easy when you can think of a problem, right? For example, there's a solution given here, better irrigation water use efficiency. Why did I write this? Because I have written that there is groundwater depletion. So there is inadequate sources. We don't have adequate sources of water. So how can that be solved? Solved by better irrigation and water use efficiency. So once you have written the problem, writing solution becomes very easy. Now that you're done with the body, only these two parts were asked in the question. Is there anything else asked in the question? No. So will I add anything else? No. It's a 10-marker question. I don't have to add too much. Right? Next, conclusion. Now, how would you write the conclusion? See, the way forward lies in shifting from productivity-centered approach towards sustainable, diversified, income-oriented agriculture. So what actually I did, I simply connected the challenge and the solution. So the challenge came because right now we are focused too much on productivity, right? And the solution will be, if we can make it sustainable, that will be a solution. All those challenges can be tackled with if the agriculture, Indian agriculture can be made sustainable, diversified and income oriented, because we have seen that the farmers face a problem of debt trap, they face a problem of low income. So what all I did was I simply wrote whatever I have written in the body in 2 lines. That is it. So you can see writing answer is not difficult. Thinking about how to structure it is difficult. And the most important part of this whole answer writing practice is brainstorming. Do brainstorming when you're writing answers on your own as well at home. And how can you get better at it? You can get better at it by writing more and more answers. That's it. And as far as time limit is concerned, maybe initially it will take you 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 15 minutes for a simple question. But the more you practice, the better you become at it while writing in terms of quality and in terms of staying in the time limit also. So initially it may have taken you let's say 12 minutes. After a few sessions of writing, it will take you 10 minutes. It will take you then 8 minutes. It will take you 7 minutes. You'll reach the time frame, the time limit. Don't worry about it. Just keep practicing. Also make sure that just to reach the time limit, do not compromise with the quality. Initial practice has to be very patience oriented. It takes time to reach this level. It takes time to train your brain to start thinking the moment it sees the question. It takes time in all of this and practice. So the final lesson here would be, if you want to get better at mains answer writing, first know your content, because without content, what would you write? Right? Know your content properly, not just remembering the facts. Of course, you have to remember a lot of things in UPSC preparation, but it's not just about remembering them. It is about understanding them so that you can analytically write the answers. So know your content, then start writing. Use this approach and then start writing. And if your next question is, how do I write answers from the day one if I don't have any content? Of course, on the day one, you won't have any content, but within the first month, at least you would have studied something. Start writing from there. because I want to start training my brain to think in a certain way, right? So, for example, you read one chapter. Now, from that one chapter, you can make a question. A 10 marker question can be made from any chapter. Make a question and then start using this framework to write the answer. So that's it for today's session. I really hope that you enjoyed the lecture. If there is anything else that you need guidance in, you can always write that down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you with a session on that. So that's it for today's class. Until next time, take care.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.